I'm sorry, guys. The battery ran out. Before we're talking about perception. And see, that's the problem. The assault weapons ban that the Clinton administration put in. You know, a lot of the things that they banned actually made guns safer. There's a ban right now that the ATF is trying to push through, and they're trying to ban tactical shotguns. A tactical shotgun is one of the best home defense weapons you can have. It's point and shoot. You don't have to worry about that bullet going through them and then killing the neighbor way down the street. It's pretty safe and it's pretty effective. And they want to ban those. You know, with the assault weapon bans, they wanted to ban front foregrips. It makes you a more stable shooter. You're going to hit the target you want to hit. You're less likely to miss. You know? Muzzle shrouds. And I know you guys have heard the jokes about muzzle shrouds. I'm not going to go into that. Our barrel shroud. I don't know why I said muzzle shroud. I was thinking muzzle brake. Barrel shrouds. You know? Technically what a barrel shroud is to protect your hand from getting burned. It's actually a safety device. You know, maybe we should call it something different. Maybe you should call it a happy fuzzy barrel warmer. Maybe people will perceive it different. You know, because barrel shroud just sounds too mean. You know, just way too mean. Maybe it's the way we word things. Maybe we'll word it just a little, be more PC with it. I'm not a PC guy. I'm anything but PC. You know, and I'll basically tell you how it is. Okay? And just to let you guys know, I think it's about time we start holding people accountable for their actions. And I know I mentioned that before with the Supreme Court, but I'm gonna bring it one step further. I believe in gun control. I'm a firm believer in gun control. We need to hold people accountable for their actions. Somebody commits a crime with a gun, make their sentence a lot steeper. Incarcerate them for a longer time. Control the people that are breaking the law. Don't try to control the people that are law-abiding citizens. That's the problem. You're controlling the wrong people. What if somebody were to tell you, you know what? You can't drive your car anymore. Why? Because there's too many car accidents. You may be a safe driver, but because other people aren't safe drivers, they're going to take your car away. You know what? It just doesn't seem fair. It's not that it doesn't seem fair, it's not fair. You know, I'm a firm believer in you need to punish the people that are guilty. We have a good justice system. And what we need to do is we need to hold people accountable for their actions. I'm tired of hearing, you know what? He was brought up in a bad neighborhood. You know, that's why he did what he did. That's why he's slinging dope on the streets. That's why he's smoking crack. No, you know what? He grew up without a father figure. It's okay. We're going to let it slide. At what point do you start holding people accountable for their own actions? We're going to wait for a 35-year-old that lives with his mother, that kills and molests kids, and say, you know what? He was raised in a bad home. That's why he's doing it. No, people need to know you're going to be held accountable for your actions. And once we start holding people accountable for their actions, they'll start realizing it. They'll really start realizing, hey, I'm not going to do that because if I do, there's a serious consequence. There's a lot of consequences for what I do. I don't think the consequences are stiff enough right now. I mean, people drink and drive all the time. It's not the point that they're going to wrap themselves around a telephone pole. It's they kill innocent families. And what do we do about that? A lot of states are just giving fines. It's ridiculous. You know, and it's the same thing with a weapon. If you're going to use a weapon to commit a crime, there needs to be a penalty to that. That's gun control. That's what we need to do. That's how we control guns. And May I ask, hey, Chowder, why do you conceal carry? Well, honestly, I think it's an obligation. You know? I think it's an obligation to conceal carry. You may not believe that, but it's America, and the good thing is if you decide not to do that, that's your right. And everything I review and everything you see, it's my opinion. Everything I'm telling you right now is my opinion. I want you to come down in the comments, you know, I want you to be civil about it, saying, you know what, Chowder, you're an idiot. Well, Chowder, this is what it says, you know, this is my opinion, this is what I believe. You know, this is my belief. And the reason I carry is it's an obligation. Let me ask you this. How many crimes do law enforcement stop? Now don't get me wrong, I'm not coming down on LEOs. I love LEOs. You know, I think they're underpaid and they do a heck of a good job most of the time, for the most part. You know, a lot of people say, well, now you're going to come out with, well, you know, this guy pulled me over. For the most part, LEOs do their job. I know a lot of LEOs. The question I'm asking is, how many crimes do LEOs actually stop? I'm not talking about prevention because of their presence on the street. How many crimes do they actually stop? Probably about 1%. Once you call the police and the police are at your house, that crime has already been committed. You know, they're there to investigate. By the time they get there, let's say you call 911 and they come quick. Let's say they're there within 3 minutes. You look at your clock for a second, pause the video, and look at your clock and watch 3 minutes go by. You can slaughter a family in 3 minutes. That's why I conceal carry. That's why I own a gun. Because unless you have a cop sitting on your shoulders, you might have to take action. Hopefully I never will. But you just might. And if you carry a gun, you have to be willing to take a life. And I've come to terms with that. The only time I'll ever pull my gun is when I'm ready to fire. And that's because I've exhausted every option out there. You know, if I see somebody coming up, throwing gang signs at me, starting to cuss at me, I have a different demeanor when I go out. I have a gun on me. I have a weapon. You know, I can kill somebody. So it's different. You know, somebody's out there, first thing I'm going to do is try to get in my car and get away from it. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get away from the situation. I'm going to go into that situation. You know, let's say they approach me. I look around, look for my exits. If I'm alone, I'm going to run. I'm going to run away. Run into a store. You know, I don't want to be involved in that conflict. You know, there's certain levels that you got to think, you know, when is it time to pull out my gun? One, in my opinion, like I said, this is an opinion. When I pull out my gun, I'm ready to shoot. And the only time I'm pulling out my gun is because my life or somebody else's life is in grave danger. And I say grave danger. We're talking about severe bodily harm, close to death. Once I've established that, then I will pull out my gun and I'll do what I have to do. But only then will I do that. So no, we're not gun-toting vigilantes that just want to pull their gun out and shoot people. We're actually quite the opposite. We're the people you want to have around when somebody goes into a restaurant on a killing spree. Because we're going to save your lives.
This is to me.
Yeah, you can play with that, little man. Got the kids in the house. Can't stop that. Go to your room, little man.
I can't take it.
I'm a family man. Yeah, take it and play with it in your tent. I'm a family man. I have 2 kids. Loves of my life. And that's another reason I carry. I could not see my kids, anything happen to them. And when it comes down to firearms, another thing I'm going to push on this is safety. You know how many times I've gone to the range and been muzzled by somebody? You know, if somebody turned you on to this video, you're not an enthusiast. Muzzling is when somebody actually points the gun at you. whether it's loaded or unloaded. You never point a gun at anybody, you know? You have to know safety. And most people who conceal carry, they know their safety. They go to the range. They do practice. Just like myself. I love going to the range. You got to hone your skills if you're going to be carrying a firearm. Or even a knife. Even a knife for that matter. Because, even this right here, it's a deadly weapon. Even deadlier weapon. Perception. Once again, perception. Now, getting away from my philosophical point of view, in a lot of my videos, you're going to see my opinion on the things that I review. And it's going to be my opinion on it. So a lot of people are going to say, why don't you like Glocks? Or, why don't you like the Smith & Wesson? Or why do you like SIGs so much? That's my personal choice. I'm not brand myopic. Glocks are great guns. Smith & Wesson M&Ps, great guns. It's just my personal opinion. Put out there, and if given a choice, I'm gonna take what I like. What I've had experience with, and I'm not a very rich person. I'm not. Every gun I own, I buy, and I don't own that much. I don't own that many guns. But when you look at my reviews, I want you to think of it as reviews for the working class. So a lot of the things that I buy, they're working class items. You're not going to see me come out with a Microtech Halo 3. You won't see spending over $500 on a knife. I just can't see it. You won't ever see me do that. You may see me come out with an expensive knife, but it's probably going to be more of a collector's item than something that I use. I'm not going to thrash on a $500 knife. I just can't see myself buying a $500 knife. For $500, I can buy 10 other knives. The function's pretty much the same. So what I'm trying to do is I look at value. Value is what I look for. And you're going to see a lot of other people do some talking, and there's other channels out there. And I watch a lot of the other channels. I'm a big fan. You guys know Nothing Fancy. I'll throw some shout-outs to Nothing, Someone who got me all hyped up to do videos like this. I love his videos. Weapons Education. Tom from Weapons Education. That's great. That guy's entertaining. That's really entertaining. You guys got to check him out. Tom on Weapons Education. Check out his channel, man. He's just awesome. Guy looks like Lou Ferrigno, I'll tell you, man. But the guy's awesome. I don't have the money that they have, And more power to him, man. I love it. It's a capitalistic society. He did what he needed to do. He made that money. That's great. Maybe eventually I'll be there. I'm happy with what I have. I'm a happy person. But yeah, you check those guys out. They have their own opinions on things, and I agree with most of it. Some things I don't. There's a lot of people that harp about weight on knives, but I'll be honest with you. I'm more about efficiency. How efficient is it going to be? If I'm going to carry those extra 5 ounces, 6 ounces, when I pull that knife out, is it going to be a lot easier for me to baton through wood? Cut down that tree? Am I going to burn more calories carrying a smaller knife when once I get to my objective, hacking at something for an hour, than carrying something a lot heavier than when I get to my objective, hacking for 10, 15 minutes? It's more about efficiency. That's the way I look at things, And I'm not a know-all. Actually, I don't know much. What I know, there's a vast world of knowledge out there. What I know from my experience, what I like, and I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like. Like I said, it's an opinion-based channel is what we have here. And I'd love to hear you guys' input.
Dad, you never that's to me.
Yes, little man. So I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. And like I always say, remember your Second Amendment. Join the NRA. This is Gunchowder. You guys take care.